So yeah, welcome y'all. My name is Sam McAlilly. I'm the co-founder of Bookhead. I do all the coding, customer support, marketing, sales, and everything else that I'm probably forgetting right now.
Yeah. My name's Caitlin O'Brien. I also help with, or we kind of tag team marketing and customer support, but I also help with bookseller outreach and product. But we'll say a little more about ourselves in a minute.
Yeah, so a bit of a story first. So Kayla and I were booksellers together at Square Books in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm a former bookseller. Caitlin still works there as a bookseller. And so when I was working at Square Books, I learned a code to redesign the website, and that kind of sent me on this journey of being a software developer. And now with this Bookhead project, I'm kind of it's a way to get back into the books as a technologist. And so I started on this project about 4 years ago, but I wasn't serious about it until about 2 years ago when I had a product. So I guess I kind of wanted to sell my own collectibles. And I wanted just as pretty common for a software developer to look at software options and be like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to build my own platform, my own software to do this. So started to do that, and I worked on it for like 2 years as a hobby. And then about 2 years ago, I was serious about it. I was like, okay, I want to share this with booksellers and see what they think about it. And Caitlin was like one of the first people that I talked to about it. And I talked to other booksellers, learning more about their problems and hearing other problems is like, this is kind of right, but not exactly. And so, that kind of helped us evolve the product to what it is today. Also, during that time period, I was doing some consulting work with Square Books, working closely with Caitlin. And so I got to see some of her problems in a new light as a software developer, seeing the way that she uses modern tools and doesn't really have what like book like it like there's no way to make it good for book selling, which we'll get into. Yeah, so Caitlin did not mention this when she introduced herself, but she's the co-founder of Bookhead as well. And I brought her on this past winter to help. She's been tremendous helping me. So that's our story, kind of background, and we can get into like the details of what all that means. Did I miss anything from our story, Caitlin?
No, yeah, that's this chapter one of Bookhead. Yeah.
Yeah. So, So, Bookhead, we exist as a technology company to help book people with technology. We're readers, we're writers, we're booksellers. This is like we exist to serve booksellers with technology problems. And so what does that mean? So what you're looking here, I just want to confirm that everybody can see this diagram. Can we see my screen, Caitlin?
I see it.
All
Yeah,
right.
looks good.
So yeah, so what Bookhead is it's a data platform, but it's also for your book selling. It's a data platform for all your book selling data, but it's like an integration platform so you can connect all these different things and get it on your website or in your online marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll kind of see how that works at a more detailed level in the demo. But so we can get inventory from all these point of sale systems and we can put them on your website, on your Shopify or Squarespace website. We're about to have Wix, Biblio, Libris, eBay, anywhere you sell book products, we want to help get them online and help market them better. But not only that, so Shopify, we have an app that I'll really show and, and you'll get an idea. So we have a data platform, but we also have a bunch of apps. And so we have the Shopify app, we have a Canva app for like bibliographic data, we have a Google Sheets app, we're planning a MailChimp and Constant Contact, and I think through the demo you'll get an idea of like where we're headed with this. Recently we have added Ingram metadata and Ingram special ordering, so we have a tool for you to special order on Shopify, which again you'll see. So So yeah, so we kind of have like a sort of suite of tools that are all trying to serve your book selling on and just meet you where you're at. Instead of like trying to replace your tools that you use, we're just trying to make them more bookish. So maybe I can take it down a level from the abstract and talk about an example. So Shopify is a good example. Shopify is missing bookish features. There's no bibliographic data. It doesn't sync your inventory with your point of sale. So you might sell a title and it gets out of stock. There's no way to special order titles from Ingram that you don't have in stock. The idea of like a new or a used or a remainder or a collectible doesn't work out of the box in Shopify. So that's where Bookhead comes in by adding those missing things to like modern software that you use all the time. So we kind of just make it better for your book selling instead of like trying to replace it. And we're just trying to make things better and make things work better together. Um, so Shopify is one example, but you can apply this idea to anywhere you sell books online or do marketing, whether it's like Canva or in your MailChimp campaigns or InDesign, and on and on. So yeah, so that's at a high level of what Bookhead does. And then we're going to show a demo for our Canva app, our ISBN Magic Google Sheets app, and then the core Bookhead platform and how that interacts with your Shopify app. So yeah. So before we move on, did I miss anything, Caitlin?
No, I think you got it. And I just said in the chat that, and at the very beginning, that we're gonna have time for Q&A at the end, but as questions, pop up, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. And so we kind of have like a list of things that we can run through at the end, or if we can address them kind of at the moment, we can do that too. But yeah, no, great. Thank you, Sam.
Cool. Well, now it's your turn to show some
Great.
books.
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
stop sharing.
All right. Okay, so y'all should see a Google Sheet that's titled Staff Picks Demo. Does that seem right, Sam?
Yep, looks
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So first I'm going to show you our Canva app. So we'll start just with like one ISBN lookup. So searching this ISBN and Bookhead does its magic and enriches just with the ISBN, gives you all this cool bibliographic data. So these are Instagram posts, like if you had a template. So all you have to do is click and ooh, and then drop it in. And for this one, instead of like a staff pick or whatever, we want to feature, we've integrated LitHub's bookmarks, little review aggregator into Canva, our Canva app. So all you have to do is click and drag and boom, there you are. And then you can kind of noodle around with it. So you can just take a list of ISBNs and look them up that way, or what you can do is, so like, let's say you keep all your staff picks in a spreadsheet, or you want to feature, these are the staff picks of the week. So we've got Bill, Diego, Mevelyn, Jude, and Al. And these are all of my coworkers at Squarebooks. So it was nice of them to do that. So we've got this cool feature where you can just add a Google Sheet and send it over to Canva and it'll do the same thing. So the only thing you need to make sure is that in your share settings that anyone with anyone with the link can see it. So we'll copy the link, and I've already gone ahead and done this, but I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. You drop it there and then name it, but we've already got one. So staff picks. Wow. Okay. So it's taken again just those like basic data and then kind of filled it all up. So let's see. We just had this author last week and she was wonderful. And so pull that there. And then so you'll see here, there's a review. And then this is written by the Squarebooks events coordinator. Take that there. And then her name is Jude. That's so tiny and I want it to look nice. So I'm just going to do that. Boom. And then throw it down there. And then again, you can just kind of keep doing this and going back. So if you wanted to do like another one from Europa, one of our favorite indies. And again, same deal. Evelyn, she's our Sign Firsts coordinator, and she's honestly, all my coworkers are fantastic. I've really never met an indie bookseller who's just not amazing. But so anyway, you get the gist. And again, like I think this is a great example of like Bookhead's kind of like North Star. It's just like this is so simple and so easy and is saving like the like only two bad words that Bookhead knows is copy paste. So we're trying to get rid of all this copy paste, multiple tab things. And I think this is a really elegant example. And then again, in that kind of same vein, so similar to the Canva app, we have a Google Sheets plugin called ISBN Magic. And so you just go to extensions, ISBN Magic, highlighted all of them, and you can kind of like really get into the nitty gritty of all this. If I want the synopsis, Dewey Decimal, if you're in a librarian, and even the images. Okay, so then you just click this. Again, we're all about like one-click curation. And then you'll see it makes a new spreadsheet and boom, now we've got the title, the author, the ISBN, and all this other great stuff. And again, there's like a bunch of different use cases. We could have a whole webinar just on this, but my favorite one actually is Square Books is on indie commerce, and they've actually got some really great reports, but again, it's just the ISBN with some some other data, which is great, but it's not really human readable. But I can use ISBN Magic to enrich that data. So, and I can actually look at a spreadsheet and take away like, interesting trends or sales data or something like that. So that's like in my book selling life, one great use, but they're myriad. And I know Sam has one that he would like to talk about. And did I miss anything?
No, it was great.
Yeah. Okay. Phew.
Yeah. Two things I want to touch on that Caitlin said. One, the manual copy paste thing. So yeah, when I was working as a bookseller, I would design the quarterly catalog, a print catalog, and get this list of like 300 ISBNs, and I'd have to go copy paste either from the website or wherever and then get it into the design, and it just took so much time. It was a huge waste of time, very boring. It's just nobody should be doing that. It's my belief, if you're doing something in a computer that takes like it's a sequence of steps that you do the same step each time with clicks, and then it could be automated. So that's kind of like our sort of North Star of like automate your bookstore, find ways to like just not do manual stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I have one really example that I'm excited that we love when I learned this. So Harvard Books in Cambridge, Massachusetts uses this ISBN Magic plugin for their huge remainder sale. Apparently, they only sell it on a Shopify website. So what they do is they have, I don't know how many ISBNs, but they use this Google Sheets plugin to get the metadata, and then they run a script on it to convert it into a Shopify format that then you can upload on Shopify. So that's one way that and not supposedly,
Quote.
this saves them hundreds of hours is what I was told. And what like that's like to me that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, before we move on, is there anything else, Caitlin, that we need to touch on?
Oh, I don't think so. And again, y'all, if you have questions or need clarification or something that makes sense, please ask. Love to kind of address those
Yeah.
now if we can.
All right. So those are our sort of ISBN magic tools. So we have Canva, Google Sheets, but we're gonna add this to let me just share my screen. So we want to add this sort of workflow to MailChimp and Constant Contact, but also Adobe like InDesign. That was like where the original idea came from. And then when I started working with Caitlin and saw her using Canva in that same way, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was really that was like the motivating thing for me to do is like help her with that. So that's like the marketing side of it. So how about this like Shopify thing? So I'm going to show you a Shopify website that I created. It's a demo store. It has live inventory, but this is going to like show kind of how Bookhead works. Usually I do these from like the Bookhead admin side, but I've started to do it from the customer point of view because I want to show you how your customer sees this on your Shopify store, and then it'll be a good way to like kind of show where Bookhead comes in, and then I'll show how it works in the Shopify admin, and then I'll show the full Bookhead like admin thing. So this is a demo store that I set up on Shopify. Do we see this, Caitlin?
Yeah, looks great.
Cool. So this is live data from an IBID system. So Squarebooks was generous and let me prototype this with their system. So we get their full inventory sent to Bookhead. And then Bookhead has a feature that filters down, and I filtered it down just for kids' books and only listed kids' books on this website for this demo. And I can show you later how that kind of works and how it could be useful to you. So these are uh, products that are in the inventory for the store. And so what Bookhead does is it takes the inventory and that's how it knows, okay, this should go on the website, and then it gets the author, all this metadata. So this site that you're looking at, we have two different tiers of metadata. This site is using Ingram's metadata. So so that's one thing. We got the product, but also we have this book list, which you can do in Shopify, but you can also control this in Bookhead. As so the idea is like Bookhead is this single central place where you control these sort of things. It's like the content management system of your online bookstore or your marketing, and you'll see when I show the back end how that kind of works. But so we have these products. So here's a product. And so Bookhead creates the product with the image. So we have each little field here you can control, and I'll show you how that works. And you can control it in the design where you want it. So this is all coming from Bookhead and it's automatically created. And this title is actually not on hand, but it's pre-orderable. So Bookhead has logic to accept pre-orders if that's what you want. And this little badge, you can control the colors. And if you can code, you can have even more flexibility. So we create this product and then we have this description. So this is a pretty simple one, but I want to show this other one that really has all these other metadata elements from Bookhead. So again, we have the products, but we have an event, a way to like control your events and like the data that is in your event and attach it to a product. There's like so many different things that we can do that I'll talk about later. But so this is another way that Bookhead can help like your products list on Shopify. I will say before I move on, so this is Shopify specific, but we're trying to build this out in Squarespace and Wix. Right now on those other platforms, it's more of a inventory sync, but we're kind of each platform we're going to have like try to get as much feature parity as we possibly can. But right now, Shopify is like the most fully featured. So here again, we have all this metadata. But here is another thing here. First edition signed, and I hinted at this at the beginning, is like Shopify doesn't know this, but Bookhead does, and it helps Shopify know this is a first edition and it's signed, and it's also a staff pick. So you can use this information in your displays and in your designs. But and this is going back to we want the central system to manage your information. This is where you would put your staff picks, and then it gets put up to your product automatically, the review text. So, and then we create a book list for authors who have other products on hand. We don't ever show anything that's not on hand. So this is all products that the store has in their inventory and can sell right now. And then we have a you may also like thing. So we're improving this. This is based on like the store categories, but we got a few tricks that we want to try to make it better. And also Shopify has like some cool stuff like this too, but this sort of stuff you can't do with Shopify. Um, all right. So that's like the product page. So what you're going to what your customer is going to buy. But how about with search? So Shopify's search is really good for what you have on hand. So these would be products that are on hand. These are all on hand. but then what if it's not on hand? So we have this special order widget that searches the background, like your distributor in the background, and it kind of it gets whatever is related to the search that is not in your inventory. So you can special order, your customer can buy stock. So this would not be in your inventory, but it would be available at your distributor if you have a relationship with the distributor. So you can buy this book, they can buy it, and then they would special order it just like any way you would do it. Like it's no different than if you had like a little form that you accepted and then you went and ordered from iPage or whatever. Um, yeah, so there's make sure I didn't miss any things. Um, Yeah, special order. So yeah, so basically it's like this is kind of our workaround to like Shopify's like I mean they have a product limit, but also like it doesn't really make sense in our view to put that many titles on your website because that doesn't I believe, and this is kind of a contrarian opinion, that I think that doesn't hurt. That doesn't help your SEO, in my opinion. And we could have a later discussion about that. But I think that for us, what Bookhead is trying to do is have your website reflect your store and your personality and carry your stock, but also we still have this way to special order. It's no different than if you're in the counter and somebody comes up, hey, I want this book. You look it up. We don't have it on hand, but we can order it for you. This is like the digital version of that. Um, yeah, so that is from the customer point of view. So now let's like look at how this works for your staff who wants to like control this content on your webpage. So Bookhead also includes theme extensions. So all these little pieces of data you can control, you can pull it in and mix and match and like lay your product page out however you want. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of cool things to do with this. Like, yeah. So this is with more use. I think some of these fields, I don't know if they'll be used or not. So we want to get feedback and have people use it to see. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea is like we get the data on there and then we have this app that like extends Shopify. Um, and then so here is one more view your staff in Shopify. So you see here, these are our products that we created. You can see we're tagging them as special orders, like the ones that would be special orders. So if like for example, like we like remove these off your site after like a day, I think, because like what I've learned is a lot of stores don't want the special order titles on their website, and that's kind of our solution to it. But we can go and look at some of these like this is the same stuff that we saw on the product page, but in the back end. But we had tags, publishing. These are BISAC codes. So you can do with this stuff, well, you can do like more sort of content management stuff within Shopify and it helps. But we also have like the meta fields. So category meta fields, this is like what Shopify needs this helps like your product with Shopify. And we have the these things would be meta fields in Shopify, and I have to pin them up on here, but they're not pinned, but you would be able to see that on the product page. So that's like where Bookhead is in Shopify, and we've started to build out an app native in Shopify that kind of does a lot of the stuff that you would be doing in Bookhead, the like our Bookhead platform. And this is still in development, so I don't want to show that, but just at a hint, like we're going to be integrating more and more within Shopify. Um, before I move on, um, yeah. All right. So I've shown the customer journey. I've shown what the experience is like for your staff in Shopify, and now I'm going to show what the Bookhead platform is in the back end. All right, so this is the Bookhead platform. This is what a staff would see if they logged in. Just a high level of your inventory. You can see here once an hour. I haven't refreshed this, but once an hour, this page. the inventory comes in, we update it if there's any changes, if there's new titles added, et cetera, et cetera. And then same with the Shopify sync, you can see what's going up I mean, this isn't really something you're going to be seeing every day, but it's still information, and it helps us as like a support to debug and yeah. So then we have let's see, yeah. So there are a few ways you can create books in Bookhead. One is through the automated FTP thing or FTP sync with point of sales. You can import it by file or you can add a book manually. And this would be helpful for like a title that you have like a local author with like self-publish. But you can also search like your distributor by ISBN and get that. Um, and then you can import your inventory. We have various different file formats, which is based on the different ones. But we have this distributor order file. If like you're an online only seller on Shopify, you can bulk import a huge order file. I mean, as many books you want to put on Bookhead, you can do it. We can bulk import it. It's like no problem. Um, so that's kind of like the inventory side of it. We'll just look at this real quick. So we need to rework this UI, just FYI. But yeah, we can edit, this is where you kind of control sign first, your conditions, and if you have like if it's a collectible, you can upload images and then it would be put up on Biblio, etc. So here are the collections. That's when we were looking at this homepage. These collections are managed here. And so I think like the future of Bookhead is you're going to be creating collections, but you could also this will be on your website, but you can also like forward this to like your Canva app. So the Google Sheets thing to go back to the Canva app that Caitlin showed, she she imported that book list from Google Sheets, but like the future of Bookhead is it's all going to be connected and you just all control it in this one place. And then so if you want to use your picture books and board books, book lists in Canva or Adobe or MailChimp or whatever, you just manage that here. Or maybe a new email campaign and you have a specific list of books. And so as we add more and more integrations, that just gets more and more valuable for your online and marketing. But also we have this is the staff picks. So this is where your staff would manage, they could manage their staff picks here, and then it would propagate to all these different platforms that we're talking about. And then I just want to show this one thing about the channel. So we had mentioned, so here we see we got 15, almost 16,000 titles in stock. But we don't want all those on our website. And that's what Bookhead does. We have a way to filter, and we're still refining these. You can include merch or not. By the way, I haven't mentioned this, but we can put your merch, sync your merch on your website. We have category filters, so you can go and search by categories, and that's how I made this kids book. And then make it so you can have like pre-orderable titles. And so that helps do like a tight store like this that has like a theme, but it also could be like maybe you have like a off-site event and you have a Square reader and you just send your products to that. Some point of sales already support that, but some don't. So I mean, we're just kind of meeting people where they're at with that. Um, and then for the ordering, yeah, we this is a work in progress. So we have a way for you to load your orders in online. Some point of sale providers have it automated and some don't. And so eventually, ideally, everything will be automated, but where it's not, we're trying to help. And then so here's one thing that I'm excited about is this analytics. So if you have like all these sales on Shopify that you want to see, and it's not really, it doesn't, again, bookish. It's not bookish. They have sell through and stuff, but like margin, like how are you going to get that? These are fake. This is fake data, by the way. These are kind of weird titles to be first bestsellers, but um, yeah, so we have some analytics. This is brand new, and I'm really curious to hear people's feedback on this and make it better. And then the event. So I had hinted at this. We saw the event for the book title that I had shown and on the product page, and this is where you would manage it. So I'm imagining this is the single place where you manage all your events. Like we got it on Shopify. We have an RSS feed, so you can, I don't know how familiar you are with RSS, but you can bring in an RSS feed into MailChimp and use that information in your emails. That already works. But also like say you're an events coordinator and you're trying to schedule an event with a publicist. So we have this little tool right here so you can have like a quick look. But also we want it to integrate with Google, like Google Calendar, so that when you have an event, your whole staff gets that out of their calendar automatically and you don't even have to think about it. Um, uh, I think that there could be like ways to like automate press releases. However, I'm a little skeptical of that because I think a lot of the press release stuff for local booksellers are from like personal relationships. So I don't know if you want to automate a personal relationship, but I am interested in ways to make it easier for both events coordinators and press people and publicists. And then here's kind of a this I think is cool. If I own a bookstore, I would definitely do this is I would use Bookhead for my events management, and then I would buy this is not built, this is where we're headed. I would buy a e-ink sign. They're really cheap, like an e-reader, and then you can these signs can get they can like subscribe to a system like Bookhead to get the information, just like auto cycle it and just be putting that and you just put it on your register. Like I think that'd be really cool. As somebody who made like hundreds of signs promoting events, I think that would save I think that'd just be nice. And then yeah, so that is where we're at right now. But where we're headed, you kind of get an idea. We have all these integrations we want to build, but most immediately, we've been working on an integration with Clover and Wix. So we're looking for some first users for that. We're probably going to have that ready in the next week or two, probably 2 weeks from now. And then we have a new API. And so I know that it's like, I'm a bookseller. What is an API? An API is a way to exchange information from computer to computer, basically. It's a way to help you automate your bookstore. It's a way for you to access your data and use it in other ways. Like maybe you like our app ideas, but it's like we haven't gotten around to building like an InDesign or MailChimp. So you can just build it your own with your data that you can access from Bookhead. And there's a lot of permutations through that I think is sort of the future of where we're headed and where technology as a whole is headed. More and more automations. I mean, with like, I feel as this is a controversial topic, but we're a technology company who serve booksellers, so I feel a responsibility to talk about AI. And so I think that AI is could be a tool for you to automate things. Like let's set aside all the terrible stuff about it, but and look at the technology itself. And there's ways that AI can help you automate things, and that's what we're curious about. And I don't know if booksellers will buy into that or not, but if you want to, you can with Bookhead. If you don't have to. It's you opt in. It's your choice. You get to control it. So that's kind of where we're headed. And then just one last thing as a technology person talking to booksellers who feels like it's my responsibility. I've seen a lot of really bad password hygiene in the bookselling world. And I swear, please use a password manager. I recommend Bitwarden. Your whole team can get on Bitwarden, and you only have to memorize one password, and it's a lot more secure and easier for you, etc. All right, so that was a lot. I'm sure I missed some stuff. If Caitlin, do you want to tap in and follow up? Did I miss anything?
Hold on, sorry, one second. No, I don't think so. I think I'm impressed. Oh my gosh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I think you got it. Oh yeah,
Cool.
all right. Amelia loves Bitwarden. Good. I do too. I was once guilty of some pretty bad password hygiene. It's one of the many wonderful things that Bookhead has brought into my life is Bitwarden. And but yeah, no, I think that like yeah, just the overall thing, just to kind of hammer it home, is that that Bookhead's whole kind of like modus operandi is to take the tools that you're already using and kind of retrofitting them to you know, like the bookish tools that you're already using for the the non-book but like great e-commerce and marketing tools that in my own experience have not been very book friendly, and save you some time so you can do the best part of this job, which is talking about books, and sharing that with your readers. And so it's like a little kumbaya, but it really is true. That's what we always come back to. And yeah, I'm just so happy to be able to chat with y'all about it. Um, being able to, sorry, I'm reading a question. Amanda Anderson says, being able to integrate from Ingram to Shopify will save me hours on hours. That's why we're here. We love to hear
Yeah.
that. But I do think that we're like uh, pretty much wrapped. Oh, I actually did have one little thing while you're still sharing your screen, Sam. This is a little bit silly, but again, it's about all about those, like, eliminating those unnecessary clicks. I love, love, love Bookhead's recent little breadcrumb feature in the bottom left corner. It seems silly, but it just shows you like all the pages you were recently visiting, and it's so simple, but it saves me so much time, which is my favorite sentence to say. Simple and saves me time. And I guess I'm biased, but because I'm a bookseller who's using a lot of these tools, like they truly do save me so much time. And again, for my own sanity, I'm very grateful for that. But I think we could open up to questions. You can drop them in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, I'll unmute you and you can show us your beautiful face if you want, but you also do not have to. Do we have any questions? Ooh. No. Wow, Sam, you're so good. No problem. Should we any last words or call to action? Oh, Wes has got one. Sam.
Are the special orders downloaded to POS systems? Thank you, Wes, for asking that. It depends on the POS system. So we're working with Booklog to do that. You can do it with Basil. We haven't tested it with IBID, but we're following the same spec. And same with iMRCHNT. We need to test that with iMRCHNT. But yeah, so the order format is basically just we create right now. You can export the order and load it in if your point of sale provider does that, um, facilitates that. So you can do that with Booklog. That's not just special orders too. That would also be any e-commerce orders that you would want sent back to your point of sale so you can fulfill the order. That was that a sufficient answer?
I think so. Oh, Wes
Yes.
agrees. Cool.
Um, yeah, we're gonna do we're recording this webinar, so we're gonna put it up online so you can look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll kind of do some highlights and little
And
recap.
yeah, if you want to meet, yeah, here, let me just put my Calendly link in here.
Smart. Yeah, and
So
we'll
that
send all of these links as
yeah, we'll definitely follow up with you, but if you want to just go ahead and knock it out. I will say I'm going, oh yeah. I'm gonna be at New Voices, New Rooms next week, so exhibiting. So if anybody's there, come say hey to me. Even if you're not interested in books, in Bookhead, I would just like to talk to booksellers. And
and we want to
also
hear your thoughts.
I'll also be at NEBA in September, exhibiting. So please come say hey. Yeah.